you know somebody who loves calligraphy or maybe just picked up learning lettering over the quarantine season in 2020, or if you are a calligrapher yourself and you want to treat yourself to something, then just keep watching this video because I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite books, tools, materials that I have used personally in my own lettering journey, which I think can also make really good gifts for Christmas or birthdays, and I can't wait to share them with you. So let's just get to it. Hi everyone, I'm Gadis of Made by Mutiara and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorites from all the things that I've purchased over the years, and all of the things mentioned in this video will be linked down in the description below. So if you're ready to know what they are, then let's get to the first one. So the first thing that we're gonna start with is with books. When I first started lettering back in 2016, there were not many free online resources to learn lettering from. So what I would do was to learn from buying books instead. And the good thing about books is that you have the resource there with you and you can actually go and learn it at your own pace. And the first one I would recommend to somebody who is maybe a beginner or is a beginner looking to practice other types of styles is this book over here called Super Simple Hand Lettering, and it's a book by Kylie Bennett. So this book, what I really like about it, it has many different traceable fonts that you can learn from. So what I would do is to put tracing paper inside and not write directly in the book so that I can practice multiple times. And it is really very useful if you want to practice using small brush pens especially. And also if you're like figuring out what your style is, you can use this book to practice all different styles and find the ones that you like the most. So this one I would recommend to people who are just learning or are new to lettering. It's the Super Simple Hand Lettering book. But once you have already mastered the basics, you want to level up your skills, another book that I like to use in terms of a learning resource is this one called Hand Lettering 201, and it is by Chock Full of Love. And the reason why I like this book is that not only does it give you more advanced types of fonts to learn from, but it also does cover some types of theory when it comes to design and gives really good information when it comes to projects where you can apply your lettering skills. This book does really cover all of that, and I really do think that it is such a pretty book. Can you see? It is spiral bound and it's very fancy with these golden corners over here. So if you know somebody who has been doing lettering for a while, if you have been doing lettering for a while and you want to like treat yourself, this is definitely a good book to look into. Hand Lettering 201. And yes, they do have a 101 book where they cover all the basics, so maybe you want to get both. So once you finish 101, you want to go to 201. But at the point when the 201 came out, I was already pretty okay with the basics, so I was really happy to see a book that could help me go a bit further than where I was. And the third book on lettering, which is from one of my favorite lettering artists on Instagram, Crystal Elizabeth, is her book called Brush Lettering Made Simple. And this is actually the book that helped me start learning about how to blend watercolors and learning the techniques. And I would say that this book covers almost all the bases. So everything from your basics to flourishing. And it also covers about how to do watercolor backgrounds and also ideas for composition. I really do like all of the ideas given in this book. So this is definitely perfect for beginners. Brush Lettering Made Simple by Crystal Elizabeth. So while I do mainly do lettering with either a paintbrush, small brush pen or big brush pen, in the beginning phase, I was always trying to dabble in all different other types of lettering as well. So these next books have been really useful in terms of helping me like broaden my horizon or what I can do with lettering. And the first one has to do with hand lettering illustration, and it's this book here called Hand Lettering Ledger by Mary Kate McDavid. I've always loved seeing hand lettering pieces where people draw each letter individually. So that was something that I was interested to learn. So when I got this book, I really liked it because what it does is show each different process step by step. And hand lettering is such a different type of art form that is still something that I'm trying to practice. But if that's something that you are drawn to learning, then I definitely think this book will be helpful. Another book I would recommend is this book called Hand Lettering A to Z. Z. If anything has like an exemplar of like A to Z of the different type of lettering styles, I find it really good to be able to refer to those pages if I ever want to use it for my lettering pieces. And I like this book because it does feature other artists as well and their own signature lettering styles. And there's also chapters on using the brush pen, like this one here and this one here, also using a brush pen. And it's just such a pretty book overall. I mean, look at the pictures. Who doesn't like color? I think because I'm a more visual learner. Look at it. Look at it. But yeah, I really do like this book in particular, and it's called The Hand Lettering A to Z. And I know that's a lot of books for me to recommend, but I still have about 3 more that I think you will really like. And the first one is this one here, called Chalk Art and Lettering 101 by Shannon Roberts and Amanda Arnell. And I have always wanted to do this type of chalk lettering with like a large piece of chalkboard. And I really think this book will be useful because not only will you learn some sort of like lettering stuff inside here, but there's also chapters teaching you how to create dimensions and shadows with chalk. And what I also really like about this book is that you can also learn how to do illustrations like banners, flowers, which is really helpful because if you ever want to do lettering for venues or weddings or events, this is definitely the book I would recommend investing in. It's called Chalk Art and Lettering 101. And I cannot wait to apply the lessons once I get my big chalkboard maybe behind here one day. And speaking of lettering of events like weddings, one thing that I have always wanted to learn since I got this book, which is the next book that I'm going to be talking about, is drawing floral illustrations. So this is the book that I've been using to learn, which is How to Draw Modern Florals by Ellie Koch. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce names properly. But in this book, it covers many different types of flowers, cacti, leaves, and it also teaches you how to put it all together. And you yourself can choose to either practice in a book itself or practice in maybe a separate sketchbook, which is what I do. And yeah, I really like how it goes through every single step-by-step process about how to draw the different flowers. So if you are interested in learning that as well, or if you know somebody who loves to doodle and draw, this is definitely a good book to get, How to Draw Modern Florals. And the last book that I want to recommend is this book over here called The Calligrapher's Business Handbook by Molly Suberthorpe. Again, sorry if I mispronounce your name, but I really like this book because it does cover many different aspects of running a calligraphy business. I use this book to conceptualize what I want to do in the future, and what I like about it is that it has many prompting questions as well. And I would really say, like, even though the book looks really thin, it does cover a lot of useful content that's easy to read and understand. And for anyone looking to start a business, this is definitely a useful resource I highly recommend you to try. Or, you know, if you have somebody who is interested in like opening a business, then get them this book. This is a really useful book. So after you get the books, maybe you also want to like give the complementary materials for them to get started, and that's what I'm going to cover in this part of the video. If you're buying materials for a beginner or somebody who you know is into lettering, I would recommend you get a set of small brush pens and big brush pens as well. For the small brush pens, I would recommend getting the Pentel Sign brush pens, which comes in a set with many different colors. And for the larger brush pens, I would recommend getting either the Tombow Dual brush pens or the Carrot marker brush pens. You don't have to get the set of 96 or 108, but if you want to treat the person, by all means you can do so. But if the person's just starting out, maybe you want to consider just getting like a brush set of 10. From Tombow, my favorite would be the Galaxy set, and I believe Carrot Markers also has a basic set of 12 pens. I also did a video of how I used the Tombow Galaxy set to make some watercolor type of background, so you can check that out over here. And aside from brush pens, one of my favorite mediums to use and to letter with is watercolor inks. I like watercolor inks because it's easy to use with a water brush, and you can get many vibrant colors. You can get so many different types of blends, and the ones I recommend trying are the Royal Talents Ecoline inks or the Winsor and Newton drawing inks. And until now, it's still one of my favorite mediums because not only can I do it for lettering, but I also use it for painting or even like watercolor background. So with how versatile it is, watercolor inks are one of my favorite things to recommend as gifts. And you know what else also goes well with watercolor inks? Dr. P.H. Martin's Bleed Proof White Paint. This is my ultimate favorite materials to ever exist on this planet because of how opaque it is. And though it's small, it's actually a lot of paint inside here. So if you ever want to see any of my works using this bleed proof white paint, you can check it out on my Instagram at MadebyMutiara. And the next thing that I want to recommend is a bit extra, but it's in the same vein of watercolor inks and painting in general. And it is this water dispensing brush cleaner device. So instead of having a jar of water and potentially, you know, using dirty water to paint, this tool here acts like a water dispenser. So once you are cleaning your brush and the water is dirty, all you have to do is to just press the flush button, I suppose, and it will dispense out new clean water while taking out the dirty water. And it's just so extra and fun to use to just like keep pressing and dispensing the water. But yeah, if you want to get something a bit snazzy for your painting needs, then this will definitely be a fun gift to get. And last but not least, the lettering tool or medium that I want to recommend is Handmade watercolor paints. And I don't know if you can see, but I have so many of them swatched over here. And the main reason for recommending them is that if you buy handmade paint, you are also supporting a small business. All of these wonderful paints that you see here are made by hand, and the fact that they can make all these paints do all sorts of things like change colors, have glitters, is just amazing to me. And thankfully, there are so many different paint makers out there selling on Etsy or on their own website. So if you know somebody who loves watercolor paints, then I would definitely recommend buying from Handmade paint makers. Some of my favorites to use are Brillanza Colors and Flower Tales and Aloha Watercolors. And I also like watercolors from Peachy Press, Wet Watercolors, Kartika Ganesan. And there are so many. I really have a problem with buying so many paints. So yeah, you may never know. You can search locally if somebody is a paint maker in your country or in your area. Consider supporting them and buying them as gifts in the holiday season. And speaking of small business, I also want to give a shout out to Yuli of Lettering Reese. And she and her husband makes this wonderful watermarks. Can you just look at it? This wooden engraved watermark. And this is the other one that I have, which is acrylic, and it's smaller, and you can see it's 3D. Can you see that? That is so cool. So she makes acrylic watermarks like this, and she can also make them in many different colors. And this is something good to include inside your lettering video so that people don't anyhow take your video and re-upload and steal them on the internet. And yeah, this is just a good way to have your branding visible in your Instagram photos or videos. It's like, you know, when people have a shop and then like the shop sign is behind. But yeah, you can go and check out on her Instagram, Lettering Reese. If you want to order, definitely send her a DM and inquire from there. But thank you so much, Yuli, for making all of this for the lettering community. It's really such a blessing, I must say. And to end off the video, I'm also gonna do a shout out to all of my favorite artists who have made stickers or have made products that I have purchased from. The first one is from Jamie, and these are her stickers from her Etsy shop. These ones are from Sarah from Little Moon Letters, and I guarantee you will love her packaging also. These are from Rubina of The Grey Muse, and you can also check out enamel pins over on her website. And these are stickers from Zoe of Zoetry and Letters, and she also has sticker sheets, and I also got a recipe pad from her. All of them you can find from her Etsy shop or her website. These are just some of them. I know there are many out there who I have intended to purchase but have not yet, so I hope to cover them in a future video. But once again, if you have an artist that you like or support their work and they sell stickers on their Etsy shop, it's a very small way to like own their art, which is what I love. And you know, you are also supporting a small business in return. And not only that, you know, stickers are very flat, so if you want to send with your greeting card or birthday card, then it's very easy to send them. Or if you need like small gifts to give as like stocking stuffers, then stickers will definitely be an option. That's all of the recommended books and gift ideas for this video. Like I said, gifts, you can give it to someone, but also give yourself because you deserve it, okay? 2020 has been so difficult, so you can treat yourself. And of course, wherever possible, do try to support small businesses. And shameless plug it in, I also have a small business over on my Etsy shop. So if you're looking for stickers to give somebody you know a bit of motivation, or if you want something to give yourself as encouragement, then I hope you do check out the stickers over on my Etsy shop. All of the items that I have mentioned in this video, once again, are listed down in the description below. And let me know down in the comments which gift idea is your favorite, or is there a gift idea that you want to add on that could be good as well? Or what small business would you shout out? If you have your own small business, then feel free to share them in the comments below so that everyone can check it out as well. Today's shout out of the video goes to Maja or Maha. I'm again apologize for all the mispronunciations in the name, but thank you so much for leaving a comment in my last video. If you want to shout out in my next video, you can also leave a comment down below or share this video in your Insta stories, and don't forget to tag me at MadebyMutiara. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, it will really help me a lot. And if you have not done so, subscribe to this channel because I'm very close to 1,000 followers. And thank you again so much for all of your support, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!